There is a saying in English that things come in threes. We saw the Sunrisers Hyderabad make an absolute hash of a run chase in their game. We saw the Mumbai Indians claw defeat from the jaws of victory in their game against the Gujarat Titans. And we were almost close to seeing Royal Challengers Bangalore tonight also managing to pull defeat from the hands of victory. Thankfully, to an old war horse and a mutual fund that has really given them dividends, they managed to get over the line today. Um, Welcome to Sneakometer Podcast. My name is Rahul Patil. I'm based out of Wellington. Joining me along this journey is my co-host Sarvesh in Mumbai, and we are going to talk to you about match number six, which was played between the Royal Challengers Bangalore and the Punjab Kings. Um, Sarvesh, first thoughts, nail biting finish.
Yes, I mean, I was feeling that today could be just like yesterday. I felt that RCB had it covered, but at some point they started once Virat got dismissed. I think that was a key moment, and I think around that point I felt this could actually go towards Punjab. But then I realized that there are two left arm seamers bowling against Dinesh Karthik, and Dinesh Karthik's I know his record against left arm seamers. It's brilliant. So I knew that it could come down to the final over, and I think I backed in my mind. I was backing Dinesh Karthik to do the job, and I think he did exactly the same thing. In fact, I was predicting that he would play a lap shot against left arm seamers, and that was the shot that he played in the final over. So no surprises there, but I think credits to Punjab Kings. I felt they were at least 15 runs below par, but despite that, they stretched that match till the final over, and they were in that game till that final over. So again, credits to them as well.
When you bring up a very funny point because when they lost the wicket of Anuj Rawat in that run chase, I my fingers were itching to tweet that we are going to need a Nidihas Trophy kind of finish from Dinesh Karthik if Bangalore are supposed to get over this. I should have done that because hindsight's always a great thing. But looking at just the summary of the whole game, so Punjab Kings batting first. 176 for 6 in their 20 overs. Shikhar Dhawan there, captain top scoring with 45. And we'll talk about that innings in a bit. Jitesh Sharma providing some fireworks at the end there with 27. Mohammad Siraj, fantastic spell of bowling by him. And especially he bowls the difficult overs. He bowls in the power play, he bowls at the death. And to return 4 for 26, 2 for 26 from 4 overs at the Chinnaswamy Stadium. Is some phenomenal numbers there, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
In reply,
Also,
RCB,
we are seeing Glenn Maxwell's number there in that summary setup, but I think Yash Dayal should be there because he took just one wicket, but he was equally good.
I think the software is skewed towards people who pick up wickets rather than people who bowl economically. But that's all right. RCB in reply, as you can say, King Kohli is back. 77, 49 balls, looked in sublime form today. And again, we'll talk a bit more about that innings later on. Yeah, but just getting over the line, 178 for 6 in with 4 balls to spare. And that old war horse, the man playing his last season, Dinesh Karthik, taking them home with a cameo. Um, Figures for Kagiso Rabada and for Harpreet Brar there, just sensational. I mean, 2 for 13 from 4 overs for a left-arm spinner at the Chinnaswamy Stadium. Brilliant, brilliant numbers. And so for Rabada as well, 2 for 23 of 4 overs. Just showing you why it was so difficult for RCB to get to that target.
Yeah.
If we were to delve a bit more into that Punjab innings and look at what happened there, um, I guess when you look at that scorecard, um, first of all, at the halfway stage, 176 for 6 in Bangalore, you'd think they are about 20 to 30 runs short, wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. When they started Punjab Kings, I think Johnny Bairstow played those two beautiful strokes. He scored two quick boundaries, and I felt maybe this is the game where he will finally get going. But that did not happen. He got dismissed on the very next ball, and mind you, he has very good matchup records against Mohammad Siraj. So against him. I think he must have backed himself to do the job, but somehow, I mean, we know the kind of period Johnny Besso is having right now. So he's in the middle of that rut. So I think he could not get going. And once he was dismissed, I think one of Prab Simran or Shikhar Dhawan they had to go. They had to play some big shots. Prab Simran, in my opinion, played with some intent. He played some good shots, but again, when Shikhar was going at just run a ball, so he had to make up for that as well, and then he had to counter some brilliant bowling by Yash Dayal as well. Yash Dayal was bowling; he was in the middle of a fabulous spell. Those quick in swingers and those lines were pretty. I mean, pretty brilliant. I mean, we were talking about Yash Dayal and how he was not good enough here in the last season. But I think again this season he is now used correctly and he was good. So Prabsimran somehow he played some shots, but there were plenty of dots ball played at the top. And then once he got dismissed, Liam Livingston again he struggled. I mean, we all know the kind of we spoke about this when we were reviewing Punjab that he is not in a best of forms right now. Even he is struggling. We saw what happened with him when he was playing in SA20 in all those games before, and even he was struggling. So I felt at the start they needed somebody to accelerate a bit more. If it was not happening for Liam Livingston, then maybe should have done some acceleration early on, but that did not happen. And I think there was one little phase where I felt RCB when they started this match, they were bowling first and they just had four regular bowlers and then two all rounders. And in my opinion, I felt that they might take that impact sub in and they might get that one spinner in for Yash Dayal. I felt that it might happen, but I don't think it's a very good idea to do that. But I felt that they already have two good all-rounders as well. So, it was a 50-50 between picking Glenn Maxwell and Cameron Green to bowl those 4 overs, or you just substitute one of your power play bowlers, maybe Yash Dayal, and get a spinner in. But I think what happened there was at the end of 12th over, I was keeping a close eye on the scoreboard. At the end of 12th over, the score was around 98, and 36% of those runs were taken off against the part timers, and those 36% of the runs came in the 25% of the overs. That means the part timers bowled only 3 overs out of 12, but they conceded, that is 25%, but they conceded around 36% of the runs. So I felt they are going to get into some trouble after that. But what happened after that over? Liam Livingston got dismissed, and once he got dismissed, they had two left-handers in, Sam Curran and Shikhar Dhawan. So, in my opinion, that was a very critical period because that allowed RCB to bring the off spinner, the Glenn Maxwell in the part timer. So that allowed them to chip in with one of his overs. So now he has bowled 3 overs. Cameron Green has bowled just 1 over. But again, Glenn Maxwell then picks up Shikhar Dhawan. He dismisses him. So now they have two. Now Punjab have two new batters at the crease. So that eventually allowed RCB to bring in Cameron Green as well. So they brought Cameron Green in, and then they took out one of his overs as well. So now they have bowled 5 overs of their part timers. So I think this was the phase where part timers did their job. They bowled 5 overs for decent returns, and I think this was a phase where Punjab should have been more proactive, but they lost crucial wickets at that critical period. So I think this is where Punjab fell behind, and I think that made the difference of 15 to 20 runs in the end.
Yeah, looking at that Punjab Kings innings, I was reminded of an old Bollywood movie, not very old, but when in the 90s, there was a movie that came out called Karan Arjun. And in that movie, the great actress Rakhi keeps telling the viewers that her two sons will come, Mere Karan Arjun aayenge. Now, the only problem with this Punjab innings was you got the feeling that the acceleration will come, the acceleration will come, the acceleration will come. In the end, of the two, only one came in the form of Karan, and that was Shashank Singh towards the end,
Yeah.
with a cameo of 21 of 8 balls. Arjun never turned up, and they fell about 20 runs short. But just going back a step, Sam Curran top scored for them in their last game at the number 4 position. Today, they switched him around and put him below Liam Livingston. Any thoughts whether that was the right thing to you. If a guy is in form, you want him to face as many deliveries as possible. Wouldn't you kind of give him a promotion rather than a demotion?
I think that has a lot to do with the kind of bowling attack RCB had. They had Glenn Maxwell, and they Punjab. I think they knew that Glenn Maxwell would come and just go through his 2-3 overs quickly. So they didn't want that left-hander along with Shikhar Dhawan, who was already batting there. So I think they wanted to keep that left and right combination. But I think if Punjab if they want that left-hander in that middle order, then I think Sam Curran may not work out in long term. They might have to go and look at, because even Liam Livingston is not in the best of nicks. So I think they might have to think of getting Atharva Taide in. He's another good left-handed batsman, and these guys who play domestic cricket regularly, these guys play spin bowling very well. So again, he's one of those options. Maybe they will have to bring him in at number 4 and keep Sam Karam at bottom at number 5 or 6 maybe, or bring maybe Jitesh Sharma in at 5 and allow him some time to get in, because even Jitesh Sharma looked a bit rusty. He was not picking Kuldeep Yadav in his first game. He looked rusty there as well. Even today, Jitesh was not looking in best of the forms, and even when he was keeping, I felt he allowed 4 to 5 extra buys. He was not looking at his best. He was allowing those. He was fumbling when he was keeping. So again, I don't think he's looking at his best right now. But player like Jitesh, I mean, that wicket keeper spot we always talk about, and the World Cup squad. That's the best motivation he can have, and I think he can kick on from
Yeah.
here. But I think they need some support in that top order.
Yesterday, we spoke about KL Rahul sucking the life out of the Lucknow Super Giants innings with his knock. Shikhar Dhawan at the top there, 45 of 37. When you look at those numbers, when you're playing 37 balls and you're only on 45, then you've really got to carry on and make up, because a strike rate of what is that, 120 odd,
Yeah,
121 odd,
122. Yeah.
is not good enough when you're playing at the top of the order in the power play, when all the ball is hard and new and is coming onto the bat. You really should be pushing on from there, shouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. And we have seen this trend with Shikhar Dhawan in past one or 2 years, that he finds it difficult to get going at the beginning. So they need somebody to fire from the other end, because that allows Shikhar to buy his time, and then even he can play his shots. But with Johnny Bairstow's form, with the way Liam Livingston is playing right now, I think that is not happening. So help is not coming from anywhere. Prab Simran is doing his bit. He's still not getting those big runs, but I think he's still doing his bit, whatever he can. And I think, like I said, that top order needs a bit of help. Somebody, maybe from domestic, or somebody from overseas players can come in and give them some boost.
Last but not the least, a quick word on Shashank Singh,
Yeah.
because there was a bit of controversy whether they got the right man, whether they got the wrong man. Well, whoever they got a bloody good man, because he really carried that team from that mediocre 160 situation
Yes.
to a fighting 176 situation, didn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. I felt they will finish somewhere around 160, 165, but he gave them that late surge. And Shashank Singh, like we discussed him in our preview, Punjab Kings preview, that he is in good nick, and I mentioned that he even scored 2 150 plus scores in Vijay Hazare Trophy, and those were against good sides. He was batting pretty well there. So I don't know what was that when that auction was going on, and I don't know what was the reason about all that drama. If they got the right Shashank, or if they wanted somebody else. I mean, all those things. I mean, in my mind, I knew that they have signed a very good player. I mean, let's keep that controversy aside. They signed a good player, and I think I'm very glad that he got this opportunity early on, and
Yeah.
he's doing well.
Perfect. Now, on that bowling card, we know about Mohammad Siraj, so let's not spend a lot of time. We know he's got class all over, written all over him. But yes, something interesting is his first spell is 180 degrees different from his second spell. Is there a case now of people just bowling out Yash Dayal straight through 4 overs on the trot when the ball is new, finishing his spell off? Because there's no point keeping him towards the death, is there?
I think this I mean, yeah, this could be one of the approaches that RCB should look after. But I think, in my opinion, if you look at that bowling card, there is Mohammad Siraj, there is Alzari Joseph, and then there is Cameron Green. These are the three other fast bowling options that they have. Now, you cannot pinpoint at any one of them and say that, okay, this guy is going to give me those 2 good death overs at the back end, because we know that even Mohammad Siraj can go for runs on his
Yeah.
bad days. But Alzari Joseph, again, he is not the best of the lot when it comes to death bowling. Same with Cameron Green. We have seen him going for plenty of runs last season when he was bowling 15th, 16th over for Mumbai Indians. So again, in that bowling lineup, I feel there is not one nailed on seamer apart from Mohammad Siraj, of course. So I think there should be a case for Yash Dayal bowling his 3 overs at the start. I mean, he should bowl 3 overs at the start inside power play, but just to be on a safer side, if Alzari Joseph is having a bad day, if he's going for 50 runs from his 3 overs, then they need somebody to bowl that over at the back end. So that is why even I felt that substituting Yash Dayal for another spinner, I think even that is not a good strategy, because suddenly you never know when you're going to feel when your bowler is having a bad day, and when you are going to require that extra over from Yash Dayal. So I think keeping all that in mind, I think it's right. It's in balance right now. If he can, or he maybe he may not be trusted to bowl in the death.
I've got the perfect solution for that problem, Sarvesh. There's a guy called Lockie Ferguson sitting on the bench. Get him in, because guess what? He can bowl it with the new ball, he can bowl in the middle, and he can bowl at the death. And he's got a brilliant mustache. And the most important qualification, that he's a New Zealander. And get him in there. But yeah, I guess that sums up the bowling effort. It's time to look at the main course now, which was the batting of RCB. Um, and up until that finish by Dinesh Karthik and Mahipal Lomror, it was a one-man show. I mean, there's no better scorecard to say that when you see one guy scoring 77 from 40 odd deliveries. Then you've got number two, 3 from 7, number three, 3 from 5, number four, 18 of 18, number five, 3 of 5. So really, Virat Kohli is standing like a mountain with no support from any of the top order. And I did tweet you that he just looked in the mood today. He looked in the zone. Right from those T20s against Afghanistan, I've just noticed a different Virat Kohli where the intent is there, and he is not scared of hitting the ball in the air. Because if you see Virat Kohli's normal mantra of his innings is he tries to play risk-free cricket, but this Virat Kohli 2.0 that we are seeing in T20 cricket now, charging down the wicket, hitting them over the top, not afraid of taking risks, and it's paying off, isn't it? In
Yeah.
that fashion.
Yes. I mean, if you look at that top order, top six, none of the batters have gone beyond the strike rate of 100 except Virat Kohli. So, like you rightly said, he was literally carrying that innings. And again, when when you drop a player like Virat Kohli in the very first over when he's on zero, and then you again drop him when he is set, then I think you are in for some trouble, because you cannot
Yeah.
be giving chances to a player like Virat. And he took 16 runs of that first over, and that set the foundation. Now, unfortunately, they could not kick on from there, but those runs were already scored, and he already got that start after that. He scored 3 good boundaries after that. So that tells you the kind of the quality of Virat. I mean, we don't have to mention that, but that's the kind of player he is. In run chases, if you give him starts, then 90 out of 100 times he's going to kill that game for you. And when you are slightly below par, then those chances go even higher. So that's the player Virat Kohli. That's the kind of record he has, and it was in that innings. I mean, we all talk about his strike rates inside power play and after outside power play. And I think he did a decent job outside power play, because he did not face a lot of spin bowling. He scored that fabulous six against I think Rahul Chahar. And Harpreet
Yeah.
Brar was in the middle of a good spell. So I think let's no, not it was his day. So let's not dwell too much into that. But I think he scored a very good six against Rahul Chahar, and he looked good. He looked like he was at least looking to get singles and doubles even when he was not scoring those boundaries. So, like you rightly said, he kept that innings on track for them. He was not getting any help from anybody else. Look at that. I mean, apart from him, Rajat Patidar scored 2 boundaries, 1-6, 1-4, and then Anuj Rawat scored 1 boundary. That's it. Nobody else from the
Yeah.
top six contributed. So it was a very good innings. In fact, match-winning innings.
Yeah, I mean, looking at that scorecard, it makes you happy that Rajat Patidar finally got some runs. But an 18 ball 18
Yeah.
in a run chase of 177 is not really adding anything to the team.
Yeah.
In fact, there was a period there. like you rightly said, in the middle when the spinner was on, both spinners were on, that you really wanted Rajat Patidar,
Yeah.
the known domestic player who's plays spin day in and day out, to kind of take the risks, play the big shots, and take the pressure of Kohli. But you just got the feeling that because he was unable to do that consistently, Kohli had to kind of also step on the accelerator and get going
Yeah.
because otherwise they were stuck in a rut. Um, I guess is does that settle that debate of Kohli for the T20 World Cup? I know you've in the past said there's probably some stories roaming around whether he's going to make it. There are some questions being asked. Does this innings settle that debate about Virat Kohli at the T20 World
Honestly
Cup?
speaking, you don't have to. I mean, you don't have to. You don't require one IPL season to judge Virat Kohli. We already know what he does and how good he is. So I think even if he scores 800 runs or even if he plays scores 300 runs this season, I think it does. I mean, I don't think it means a lot because we know the quality. And if even if he gets
Yeah,
400 below par, even if he has below par season, then I know that I think even that should be fine, because that's not the that should not be the criteria in my opinion. Because Virat Kohli's quality is, we already know, he has proven that for more than a decade now. So I think one season, I mean, it
yeah.
doesn't change anything. So I think I don't know. I mean, what's going to happen?
Right. Okay. Let's pencil in that name from our side at least for the T20 World Cup. Let's talk about this finish now. 130 for six. When these two got together, they needed about 47 more, and they had about 22 balls remaining in that innings. Um, I mean, when you look at Dinesh Karthik, yes, you have the confidence that Dinesh Karthik is capable of scoring 46 from 22 deliveries because of the kind of innings he's played in the past, and he's got track record and he's a proven performer. But he needs support from the other end as well. You can't do it on your own, can you? And which is why it was so good to see Mahipal Lomror. I mean, Impact Sub. The name Impact Sub is designed exactly for someone like him who comes in and has an impact on the game. And that is what exactly he did. I mean, we've spoken long and hard about how RCB have shown faith in him over the years. And yeah, today when it mattered, the guy has come in and delivered.
That's, I mean, that's his role. I think, if when you I was watching those clips from RCB camp, and I realized that they have been practicing this drills with Anuj Rawat and Lomror, where they gave them these hypothetical situations where you play just one over. They tell you what's the fielding and where are the fielders. I mean, that's again in your mind. They tell you that this fielder, this is up, this is down, and they set up a hypothetical situation for you, and then they tell you that you have to score 18 runs of that last over. You just have six balls. So that's the kind of drills that teams have these days, and then that's how they prepare these finishers to do their job. And I think Lomror and Anuj Rawat, they have been trained that way to to do that job for RCB. And I think you rightly said, he was spot on. He was looking very good. He took all that pressure off Dinesh Karthik. When Dinesh Karthik, as in that over, in that last over, he took on Arshdeep Singh, which is what I was expecting him to do. But before that, his against Sam Curran, in fact, Dinesh Karthik's matchups was pretty good. He has scored, I think, 65 runs against him at a strike rate of 264. So that was understandable. But again, taking somebody like Arshdeep on was, I think Mahipal scored a few boundaries against Arshdeep, I think, if I'm not wrong. I think that helped,
Yes.
that pushed that run chase in the right direction. So I think, yeah, it was a good supporting knock. Just 17 runs, but those were like high impact 17 runs.
Yeah, and you could just see the crowd going absolutely berserk at the Chinnaswamy when Dinesh Karthik smashed the last ball that Arshdeep bowled for a four. I've been in that stadium, and it's an absolutely crazy place to watch cricket in. The crowd is literally, it feels like you're in a cauldron and they're sitting right on top of you, but just a brilliant atmosphere to be a part
Yeah.
of. Bowling figures, I mean, it was the story of those two in the middle. Kagiso Rabada and Harpreet Brar, as we've already said, 4 overs each. And in their 8 overs, they've only given away 36 runs and picked up 4 wickets. 4 for 36 from 8 overs between Brar and Rabada, while the rest, were going at 10s and 11s and 12s, and in one case 16. Um, Normally when you see a bowling card, you either see the fast bowlers doing well or you see the spinners doing well. But here you have a unique case where there's one quick and one spinner who's done well. Does it actually say that it was a brilliant wicket which had something in it for everybody? Because the batters played their shots and the fast bowlers got something out of it, and so did the spinners.
Yeah, one spinner and one seamer going for less than run a ball in a game in a run chase at a stadium like Chinnaswamy. At Bangalore, you expect things to go differently. I mean, you don't see such economical lot of such economical spells at Bangalore. Like you said, it was looking like a good wicket. It was not a typical. I don't think it was a typical Bangalore wicket where you score 200 runs and the opposition goes out and chases that. I mean, it wasn't that kind of a wicket. It was a very good wicket. I mean, it had something for everyone, batters, bowlers. Once you get in, we saw what Virat did, and Rabada, Harpribar, and the good thing about Rabada is that what I liked today was the kind of role that Punjab have given him. Last season we saw that he was bowling at the back end and he was getting thrashed. So they realized that maybe that's not the right way to use Rabada anymore. So they used him like a strike bowler. They brought him late inside power play. He picked up those wickets. Then in the middle phase as well, he was bowling pretty well. He was bowling those quick bouncers, bowling at pace, bowling with full throttle. Even in fact, his fielding was looking fantastic. He was saving those boundaries. So I think overall, I think they have sorted out Rabada's role, and I think that suits him the best. In the middle overs, if you have Rabada and Harpreet Brar bowling at you and bowling those economical spells, and I think Punjab will they will control that middle over space. That's the kind of, I think, partnership I could see that it is going to develop between these two.
So both teams at the end of this game, one win each from their first two games. So points wise, they're equal.
Yeah.
Obviously, still early stages of the tournament. We've just had one round so far.
Yeah.
Start of the second round was today. But any early indications or anything to finish off on both sides, anything to watch out in the future, or anything that they need to work on, in your opinion?
I think one of the things that we discussed that Atharva Taide should come in my opinion, one of the domestic batters should come in and help out that top order of Shikhar Dhawan, which is struggling. Shikhar Dhawan, so these guys are struggling at the moment. Dhawan is getting the runs, but not at the right strike rate maybe. So he needs bit of help. We know what he can do once he carries that. Once he plays a long innings, he can make up for those lost deliveries. So they need somebody to do that. And I was not really impressed with the way Rahul Chahar bowled today. We know his qualities. He has even played for India. He has done well for Mumbai Indians in the title-winning season, and he has that quality. But in last couple of seasons, I don't think he has done any justice to his talent. Even today, he just bowled one over. So I think that is one area again. We discussed this about Punjab. They have signed, I think Prince. So I think they have signed Prince Chaudhary, another leg spinner, if I'm not wrong. So maybe they
Yes.
can give him a look in. Maybe they can try him because this is the time where you try your youngsters and then allow them to settle in, and then at the back end you just back them or you bring in your experienced campaigners if it is not working out for your youngsters because they have that experience. So I think maybe it's time to look for somebody else, and they have that one guy who has that kind of a mystery kind of an action. Maybe that's where one area where Punjab Kings can go. And RCB, I don't think there are a lot of issues. Maybe that bowling, that fourth, fifth bowling option, maybe they can do a bit more about that. But I think from RCB's perspective, I think it looks good. It looks good.
What about Johnny Bairstow and Liam Livingston? You're not
Yeah,
getting the most out of either of them.
yeah,
Are they absolutely untouchable as far as selection dropping them from the side is concerned? Or could you look at a Sikandar Raza
yeah.
kind of player who you're going to get 120% from him whenever he plays? He's got a bit of fire. And look, he's not the flashiest of names
Yeah.
in world cricket, but very, very effective with the ball, with the bat, and in the field. So, is it time to maybe look at something like that?
They can do. I mean, both Livingston and Bairstow are not working out for them. So maybe they can get one of them out because they do not have that issue of wicket keepers. They already have Jitesh. They already have Prab Simran. These guys can keep wickets. So Bairstow is not going to keep wickets for you. So there is an option of swapping him for somebody else. I think Riley Russo could be a very good option because he can play in that top order,
Yep.
gives them that left-handed option. So maybe they can go towards him. And then if it is not still working on, then I think Sikandar Raza also gives them that additional option. And but the only issue with Raza is that he is not going to bat in your top four or top five. Maybe he's going to play down the order. So where they already have Jitesh
Yep.
and all those guys in, and even Shashank is there. So I think Riley Russo should
Yes.
be higher in that pecking order. Then if it doesn't work out, then I think they should go for Sikandar Raza.
That's a fair point. Well, with that, we come to the end of match number 6 review. We've always loved bringing these to you. As always, if you like what we're doing, give us a follow on our Twitter, on our Instagram, and on YouTube. Subscribe to our channel, press that bell icon, comment, like, share, and do everything that you can to support us. Any closing comments before we wind up for today, Sarvesh?
So we have a good match tomorrow. Last year's a repeat of last year's final. So I'm just waiting for that. And both things are
Absolutely.
coming
Looking
off a
forward
good
to it.
win. Both things teams have
Yeah.
done well in their first game. Going to be a
And
cracker.
they're playing in Chennai.
Yes.
Right. So Chennai taking on Gujarat at home should be a cracker of a game. I love watching Chennai games because there are always know that a couple of Kiwis are involved. I'll be watching my Wellingtonian Rachan Ravindra with a lot of lot of interest, and Daryl Mitchell as well. So see how they go. But yeah, it should be a cracker of a game. We'll catch you tomorrow again, same time, same place. Until then, goodbye and have a great day.